Good afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon, August, I think 6th or something like that. Okay, I know normally I do CPS-ish related stuff, adoption, child trafficking through adoption, stuff like that cases. But, I often, take baths, to soak my joints and muscles because I have a disorder, an autoimmune disorder. So it helps alleviate some of the pain. So I take a bath, and when I take a bath, I usually listen to podcasts, Snapped, true crime. I'm into true crime, been for years. Um, but anyhow, I rarely finish the whole episode while I'm soaking. So I sometimes we'll go to YouTube and look up the case and get bits and pieces of it. I don't have Peacock anymore, streaming because it's just ridiculous. I just can't have every streaming service. I basically stick to Netflix, Hulu, Prime, and Apple TV. It works. Anyhow, so I can't watch the case to see how it finishes out, what happens. So, but I generally go to YouTube. And sometimes there's a little bit of things you might get like a 3 minute, 5 minute, 8 minute or whatever clip from Oxygen that's got like other interviews with people that they didn't show in their episode. But wow, I looked up this girl Ezra McCandless because that's the episode I was listening to, and I just watched several things. One, I think, is a psychologist, a psychiatrist that he doesn't diagnose them, but he works through them. And another one, I can't remember what it was, but it basically, you know, uh, alluded to the fact that, she was a manipulator that liked to play games and whatnot. But as I more listened and watched this, I said, what the fudge? This is almost like Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So I think like most of society across the world that's heard of Gypsy Rose Blanchard believed her BS, right? I've heard of Montez by proxy. A lot of people have, and I'm not really going to get into that. Maybe I will one day when I'm talking about what CPS does to people, and these fake doctors who are supposed to be abuse specialists with children. I'll do that another day. And I was planning on doing a video today um regarding the phone calls that are coming out about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and kind of tying it into her light sentence. And then these phone calls sounds like she had a pretty cushy life while she did her minimal years. So I will do that. I'm gonna another video. I was gonna do that, but I wanted to bring this one up first while it's fresh in my memory from just watching all these episodes of her over the past couple hours. Because when I started watching Gypsy Rose Blanchard, when she came out of jail and had her Lifetime show, newly married with her husband, Ryan Anderson. And then, shortly after, she's already manipulating. She's trying to make it out like we're not happy, a month or two into her living with Ryan. And now emails have said that she was never really physically attracted to him, and like she was really in love with her boyfriend Ken. And I think I referred to him in another video as a husband. No, I know he's the boyfriend, and Ryan was the husband, the baby daddy, whatever. But I started watching the first season, and I watched the entire first season of her Lifetime show, Life After Lockup, I think is what it was called. And oh, is she such a dislikable girl? You can just ooze the manipulation out of her, and then you get to see her parents and her sister, um, who I'm not impressed by any of them. I think they're all despicable people. Just despicable people. I don't care what Dee Dee Blanchard did. I mean, as a society, yes, we should care about con artists like our president. And it seems to be, and I would tend to believe that the people who believe Rose's bullshit are the same people who believe Trump's bullshit, right? People love con artists. I don't understand it. I don't understand how they love influencers either, but whatever floats people's boats. It's crazy. Society's just gone downhill. But anyways, so I start after I think I kind of forgot about Gypsy and then heard her second season came out. I did not watch it. But I did read that she got pregnant, had her baby. Well, I knew she got pregnant, but I mean, I knew she had her baby, and you see like clips in the media of her just seemed to be living her best life ever, while her mother's 6 feet under and may have lived another 30, 40 years. But in my research, I really kind of fell into YouTube and then like the Gypsy Rose universe, I guess is what they call it, and all the content creators. I really like Ashley Baby and Audacious Audrey, case studies. They do really good context. Barbara Ann, I think hers is straight out of context. Haiti, what is it? Haiti, I think I said that right. But then there's other ones that just like gave me like really icky feeling. Like I used to watch. I think one way I got into Becca Scoops was I watched a Ryan Reacts, not Ryan Anderson Reacts, which I think is a copy of Ryan Reacts, Ryan's Real Reactions or something like that. And I saw him do a couple of like commentaries on Becca Scoops. And I just watched her, but then like the whole like fights with the content creators, which to me is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? And it kind of reminds me of like some of the infighting with DCF people. Like, oh no, I'm a better advocate. No, I'm a better advocate. No, I really can get kids home. Like, there is no saint that's gonna be the full answer to how you get your kids home. You can have two parents that do the same damn thing. One children's get adopted out and the other ones get them back. But like I said, that's different content I'm doing. But I wanted to talk about this today, and I don't have an intention to do Gypsy Rose commentary. But, a lot of people are angry and against these people who want to bring out all of the FOIAs and all of the information on Gypsy Rose. Her Facebook posts, her uh, prison emails, and now they've recently released her phone calls. And my next video is kind of sort of more related to the recently being released phone calls. But I do um really like the anti-Gypsy Rose content, because now that you see how everything played out, and I'm not going to sit here and go really over from A to Z about Gypsy Rose. That's not my point. Like I said, go watch those other wonderful content creators who have the receipts in spades. In spades. And if you still believe Gypsy Rose or follow her, there's really something wrong with you. Go get help. Go get help. And if you're sitting giving money to Ryan Anderson, as a simp, you go get help. And there's one specific I'm talking about. That one needs serious help. Serious help. The one of the worst things you can do in society is be a clout chaser of a murderer or a murder sympathizer like Ryan Anderson. But I have gained enough knowledge about Gypsy, and like I said, I even named my female veiled chameleon after Gypsy Rose because of the eyes that go everywhere. The concert, they love their tongues, snapping stuff with their tongues. That's what Gypsy Rose does with her crazy tongue. She snaps people with it. And I don't know, maybe there's venom in that tongue like a frog. Case you and your frogs. All right. Listen, I'm sitting there and I don't know. I'm starting to think that this Ezra chick, um, and I don't know if Ezra McCandless is her legal name. I know her real name is Monica something. Her birth name. Uh, but I don't know if she like legally changed it. I'm assuming she did because I think that's like what the uh prosecution went after. But I want to kind of go over some things I saw in similarity. All right, because we know that I want to say what was it, June 10th, 2015 is when Gypsy Rose had autistic boy who I'm not sticking up for him. I do believe she 100% manipulated him. And not only that, like she knew what she was doing and she had ways out. Now, I think you all know. Hold on, I gotta read. I gotta take my glasses to read. All right. After that happened in 2017, HBO did Mommy Dead and Dearest. And in 2017, also Dr. Phil did an episode. And then I'm not quite sure when in 2018 there was an episode on 2020. And then I think Gypsy's Revenge came after Ezra. But I want to believe I believe it was in March of 2018. Ezra killed one of her lovers, I guess you'd say. I don't know if it was a boyfriend. I know at one point she had three men going, which is one thing that Gypsy is famous for. Because if she couldn't get Nick to do it, she would have got another man. Now I don't think she could get Dan to do it, her obsession, which is one of the ticks I have here. But what playing and manipulating people. You know, Ezra manipulating men. And another thing I'm going to talk, and then also in my next video, I'm going to write this down, is, what do they call pay pigs? I'm going to look it up. It's these men that they get in to, pay their bills or talk to them, give them attention and stuff like that. But I want to pinpoint the similarities between Gypsy Rose's crime and Psyche and Ezra's. Now, um, one of the main reasons that content creators are so against Gypsy Rose Blanchard is because the fame she's using, and she's also taking that fame to what's the word I want to use? Um Imprint on children, I guess is what I want to say. Now in 2015, I believe in 2018, Ezra was 20. So during the murder, she was 17. I don't know too much far back into Ezra's background. I've seen way more about Gypsy. I would love to see way more about Ezra too. I would love to see maybe one of these Gypsy Rose content creators really get all the receipts and everything on Ezra, because I kind of think, and I could be wrong, and one of you all come out, but I kind of think that Ezra I don't know if she was Gypsy obsessed, but I think she took stuff from Gypsy. Did she do it for attention, for fame? Which is what some of the content creators fear, that there will be murderers brought about from seeing Gypsy Rose's case. And and I tend to think that's possible. They might not murder their mother, but they might murder their father, or they might murder someone else they know. They could even murder a stranger. And now, especially seeing that Gypsy Rose, and this is going to be my next video, seemed to be like almost in Club Med while she was in prison. She wasn't reformed. But if people can sit there and say, wow, these young, impressionable kids can sit there and say, oh, dang, wow, I can kill somebody and be famous, create a following while I'm in jail, while I'm on trial and then in jail and then come out in a few years or whatever. I can do what Gypsy did. And I think I'm going to talk a little bit more on my next video about what I think can be done about Son of Sam laws that are really found to be unconstitutional. Maybe the law can be unconstitutional. However, not fining people a lot of money, like when people commit murder, fine them in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And if it doesn't go to a victim, because like Dee Dee Blanchard is dead, so there's no money that can be given to her. But what if we were to give that money just like into a victims fund, raise awareness to children in harm, parents in harm, victims just in general, gun safety. There's a lot of things we can do with that money. So you're a murderer. Part of your crime is you've got to pay this or this person or this fund millions and millions of dollars. And then when you sell your story, there's already an amount you have to pay back, right? Although we know if we see O.J. Simpson, he really didn't do that. But courts have to start garnishing shit a lot better than they do. Okay, so let's go down the notes I took. So one thing I did notice, and one of the I believe it was the 999 recording. I know she was only 20, and I know like the number might be a little bit off. And I know Gypsy was 23, but they both lied in the investigations of these crimes and said they were 19. Gypsy knew she wasn't 19. You even hear in her phone recordings that she did certain things at certain ages and other things. She knew her age. She knew her age. She's a liar. And so is Ezra. Now, maybe she was just newly 20. Maybe she was 19. I don't know. I find that age odd. Maybe she wanted to do it when she was 19 and just wasn't able to. Sometimes it takes a while for these criminals, these stupid criminals, because you're not smarter than the police that have been doing this for decades, you dinglings. Okay. Both killed the person they blamed for keeping them from their male obsession. We all know, and it's well known and well joked about, that Gypsy Rose did it for Eggplant. She was obsessed with Dan Glidewell, as much as she is with Ken. And will she harm them? No, but she may harm someone that may be keeping her from him. Now, there's only one thing keeping her with him, and that's a baby. But that doesn't mean she can't harm someone and think she's really planned it out. I mean, we've already seen her have severe psychological breakdowns with the blanket and with the headboard. We all know there was a headboard incident. Let's not, we all know there was. Stop saying there's no headboard video, Ken, because maybe there isn't. Maybe they're just mixing it up. That doesn't mean anything. But there was an incident, wasn't there? You don't deny that. I mean, you are a liar, so why aren't you denying that? That's just so odd. You know why you're not denying that? Because that's your chip against her. If you come out and say it did never, never, never happened, then you can't come down and say it did when she tries to kill you, she leaves you, whatever. Because eventually she's going to leave you because you're just not into her. She wants a man that's into her. Just not Ryan Anderson. And for fudge's sakes, Ryan, if you truly are in love with Gypsy and you want to be with her, get off your couch. People would like you better if you got on the treadmill, you stopped dropping weight, you started being a good person, but you're just so unlikable. And stop sitting there like with this, my privacy, my privacy. They invaded my privacy by releasing these. I'm not really a dirtbag because I said stuff in privacy. You are. You are. You're racist, you're homophobic, and you're misogynistic. That's not good for any man. Okay. Both lied about their abuse. Oh, on Ezra, the man she killed was one of the ones she was cheating on her true loves, which was this guy that was a medic in, I think, in the reserves. That was her true love. And I think they broke up because A, she had an abortion, which she probably had because she didn't know who the father was because she was sleeping with three men at the age of whatever, 18, 19, 20. I don't know. I don't know how long she was with any of these people. There's not enough information. That's why I would love for someone to do this. But it was believed that she not just wanted to show that she didn't love him, but that he was abusive to her. Like, look and see. Be my hero. Rescue me. Because this guy was just so abusive and forced me to do stuff and blah blah blah. All right, both of their methods was stabbing, right? Although, as I saw in some of those cases, that they didn't know why she stabbed because she had access to guns. Like, why stab when you could have shot him? Now, I don't think Gypsy had access to guns, and sometimes I think the part of the stabbing, because there's so many ways that children can kill their mothers or other people can kill people, that the answer isn't stabbing. Then sometimes I think the cruelty and the pain is the point. They were stabbed nearly the same amount of times. Now, I think I've heard two numbers with Ezra's case, how many times she stabbed that young man. And I've heard 16 and 17. And we all know that Dee Dee Blanchard was stabbed 17 times. Both were into BDSM with multiple men. So, from my understanding, is although Ezra loved the one man that was the medic, he was too vanilla for her. But the other two men she was sleeping with, the one she murdered, and then the other one who's still alive, both said she was into BDSM with them. Okay, so like I said, Gypsy's crime was in 2015, Ezra's was in 2018. A few years later, and definitely after enough was known about Gypsy Rose. Now, was the BDSM about Gypsy Rose known? I don't know. I haven't seen all of the documentaries on her. I just don't want to give her money. So I take what I can from content creators that despise her. Both are extremely manipulative. Both are extremely manipulative. Both claimed murder was a necessary defense. They both did. Both claimed being SA'd uh, at the time, within, before or after both murders. One was before, one was after. So, like, that was their fear factors, why they did the murders and cover up. Both considered themselves artists. They both drew. If you look at Ezra's car, her car was well known because she painted, paintings all over them. And as you know, Gypsy Rose does all kinds of paintings. Has been doing paintings for years. They both use similar type knives, like hunting knives. Um, I know that the one that Gypsy used was a fixed handle 6-inch blade, but I'm not quite sure what the other one. But they both kind of look like hunting knives. They both loved to use aliases, and both had young parents. One was a mother, one was a father, under the age 18, and they were both abandoned by their fathers. So, and just what I found today. I'm not sure if there is any other correlation, any other similarities to these two women, but I guess my question is, was Ezra one of the Gypsy Rose nuts that believed her and saw that she was starting to get fame by the Mommy Dead and Dearest and the Dr. Phil interview and other interviews, and the all the media attention she got, and did she want that? I mean, I know in court she looked quite different. Um, in court she looked really nice and haired really nice. She made sure she wore the sweater that the man she was obsessed with the day he was testifying. Manipulation. This is how we do it. Right, girls? Right, Ezra? Right, Gypsy? Gyp Gyp? Um, yeah, I would like to see your comments and stuff like that. Has anyone else said, oh, is it possible that Ezra saw what Gypsy did and said, yeah, let's get some fame in there? Because, like I said, when Ezra was in court, she, was one of the nicest looking murderers, as in the way she presented herself in court. Um, but then after she was convicted in jail, she went back to her I'm Ezra. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm Monica in court when I'm gonna face all my, paramours. And then I'm back to being Ezra, the boy. I just found that odd. And that in itself could be manipulation. And if anyone knows the Ezra case, you know that she carved boy, the word boy, in her arm. Now, she said that he carved it, but doctors know the way it was. So that makes you wonder, was her boy girl thing just like a manipulation? Because I would tend to think that if you were, and now I'm not transgender, so this is just an assumption. And everything I do here is just, I'm using the Fair Use Act. It's just for my commentary, maybe instructional, entertainment. You can take this however you want. But I would really like to hear, like, in the comments. And I know I'm a new YouTube channel, and it's going to be quite a while before I, build up any following. If I do at all, I mean, I really hope I do. because I would like to change DCF because that's really my case. But let me know what you people think. Do you think that Ezra followed Gypsy, copycat some of the things, like her defense, her mode, number of times that what the stabbing was? Maybe she did think she stabbed him 17 times. I don't know. Did she do it for fame? Did she think she like Gypsy that she'd get off and she just lie her way out of it and that she could dupe people like Gypsy does all the time? The smart people know now, seriously, now that everything's been proven, they know Gypsy's is as dumb as she lies. And her lies are so unbelievable because she's not intelligent enough to think up anything really good. There's just so much proof that she's a liar. Anyways, so let me what you think now. And have you seen any correlations with any other murders after 2015? Whomever it was. But I just find this one just so similar. Age, a pretended age, um, you know, the defense, um, just the way it was done, how many stabs there was. They were both artists. Um, did she see some correlation when she first heard, oh, we're both artists, oh, we're both this, oh, we're both that, and then took more stuff from her? Because maybe there could be a life alive today. Or maybe she just was always going to murder and would have copycatted somebody else. I don't know. I just kind of want to see what your thoughts are on this. Have you come across any other case that says, wow, it sounds like this person copied Gypsy Rose or took bits and pieces of her and, kind of built themselves up to be a similar murderer? I'm just really curious because I was like, oh, holy wow. All right. Thanks for watching. And I will be doing another video, but I'm back to my DCF stuff. But I really kind of thought I should address this because I think there really is legitimate concern with all the content creators that are trying to get Gypsy Rose silenced. I think there is a legitimate concern because if Ezra did get these ideas from Gypsy Rose, how many other are contemplating murder right now for fame? Because we know that some people will murder to get that person get known in that person's name. Remember, Jodie Foster was one of the people that somebody was harmed for. So let's also work on those Son of Sam laws too, people. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in my next video. My next video is going to be highly DCF, a little bit of Gypsy Rose, but highly DCF. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.